and welcome to London again. My name is Ian Pelham Turner from the Royal Child TV. Today, Helena Shard, my business partner, and I can actually announce we are off to China. We have been requested to take our full Royal Photographic exhibition and our experiences to 5 major cities. Whilst we're over there, we will be working with TV stations as well, which opens us up to a 600 million television audience. So you can imagine today how happy we are and how much we are looking forward to this event. In the meantime, I thought I would take this opportunity to go through some of the historical photographs that both Helena and I have worked on in the past. Starting with my own photographs, going through 4 decades from 1967. And before we start the photographs and the story, we have even more happy news for you today. Helena and I, with David Gardner from Sedley Place, Philip and Lindsay from I'm Britain and Uvic, have formed a new company called Royally Invited, and we will have a new website for that called Royal Circles. The objective is to have 5 skill bases from Royal Insiders. So when you may want to have a royal event, we can really produce some first-rate people now. We have people like Rob Shepherd, who is the executive chef to the Queen. We have people like Grant Harold, who was William and Harry's former butler. We have Shirley Poitz, the royal florist. We have ourselves, of course, the royal photographers. And we also have Diana Jervis, who is a royal historian and does charity events behind the scenes at the palaces. So we feel blessed to be able to offer you this new service now at the same time. So as a fledgling photographer, I was just 16.5 years old. I was asked to photograph Princess Margaret at the opening of a bridge in my own city of Rochester in Kent, England. The photograph became so famous, it was turned into a royal oil painting and still hangs in the Guildhall in Rochester. I was fortunate over the next few years to photograph the royal family on occasions, but really my first major insight and breakthrough in royal photography for commissioned photography was when I did William's first major Christmas baby shots in 1982. I remember the occasion extremely well. I was commissioned to take the first Christmas photographs of baby Prince William in 1982 with Prince Charles and Princess Diana. The occasion was very memorable for me in all sorts of ways, especially because the photograph that you can now see eventually became one of the major royal competition winners in 1983. My career was blooming. On this particular day, you were not allowed to talk to the royal trio or make any noise or even direct them. Unfortunately, Diana had William's teething ring right in front of her face. So for 4 of the 7 minutes allotted to me, I could not see the most famous woman in this world. Eventually I made a noise like I was dying. Diana turned round towards me, saw the problem, moved the teething ring. William went to get the teething ring and created the most famous, iconic royal photograph. After the 7 minutes was over, then the couple decided to do individual pictures of William as well. And I captured this equally famous shot of baby William sat on his father's knee, and Charles was tickling him to get a smile on his face. After that period, my career was set. Winning that major royal award meant a lot to me. So then I started photographing for newspapers and magazines and commissions right across the world. This is one of my quite famous photographs of Charles, William and Diana playing around just after his first birthday in Kensington Gardens. And then the next royal milestone, that rascal of royal history now, Prince Harry, he arrived on the scene. And I remember a young William scampering in the door of the hospital with Prince Charles, wanting to see his new baby brother. So did some of the other royal family as well, including the Queen Mother. Then that quiet baby bundle came onto the steps of the hospital with a proud Princess Diana and Prince Charles. Yes, this was Harry. So, by this time I was stationed in Scotland for a while, looking after some of the royal activities happening there. This was one of a strange set of photographs I got of Charles one day. He was parking his boat, his naval boat, at the River Clyde, and I think always taking due care and attention. The study on his face and then the relief when it happened was really a picture in itself. One minute he was in uniform, and then we started to see a new dapper Prince of Wales as well, where he started taking a lot more interest in his clothes, his body and his health as well. Perhaps this was an influence of Diana. And then we went back to William again. His first interest in soccer was at a very early age. This piece was entitled Unaccustomed as I Am, and it shows a young William getting the rudiments of football. This week proved very successful for William. He is now president of the Football Association in England and allowed a football match and training session to happen at Buckingham Palace. Being based in Scotland, I started to realise though that things were not quite what they seemed. The happy, smiling Diana and Charles I had taken on D-side just a few years before was turning into a rather bored, frustrated and obviously very unhappy Diana as she started to create her own style in life and left Charles behind. As I started to take more commissions of the couple, Diana was always grabbing the headlines, and she dazzled crowds with her style, smile and clothes. She became the fashion icon of the period at the same time, and left a rather bemused Charles wondering what to do to become, in his own right, the next royal king. After a while, competition seemed to be in the air for Charles and Diana. All Diana had to do was turn up, look beautiful and smile. She melted millions of hearts that way. Charles found it harder to get column inches in newspapers and started doing more unusual photographs. In this one, I remember seeing Charles blow up a resuscitation doll at an exhibition. To my eyes, how he had changed from 10 years previously, when he was quite a shy young person, to doing something like this in the public arena for myself as a royal photographer, really started to show there was a strain in all their lives. In the meantime though, to keep a smile on people's faces, the Queen was doing her utmost to amuse any guests, especially President Ronnie Reagan.